So at 7:15, Tammy, we call the meeting to order. This is a meeting to address the inaccurately warrant meeting on the 19th. We will be going over the minutes from that meeting and having the same or following the discussions as they were that day. First order of business was to discuss employee wages and benefits for the road crew. Who would like to start? Started that day with a presentation from the road crew.
I had a couple questions. One is, in the minutes, I mentioned something about a proposed increase that they were supposed to have got 2019, 20, maybe 21. Was that ever voted on? And if it was approved within the budget, then we should be paying them what we approved for that.
So
based on fair labor law, that's required.
it was discussed, it was during that section where we were trying to figure out the way to get on the fiscal year budget.
Right.
It was discussed, the budget was proposed, but never accepted.
Okay. That's the question I have.
Correct?
It was discussed in 2020, I believe.
Right.
And it was a 3%. It was a 3% raise, and it was part of the proposed budget when we were trying to move into the next fiscal year rather than voting on this fiscal year while we're partway through it already.
Right.
So yeah.
Right.
So that was that voted in as part of your budget?
That whole thing was shut down by the council.
Okay. That was the question.
Yeah, it was not voted for. Correct.
Thank you.
Any other questions on that? Any in Zoom? Everybody hear me okay? It was discussed when their last cost of living raise was, as we just discussed. It was discussed that in the 2020 mark, we asked you guys to start paying the 20%. Was that?
Oh, yeah, last, what was it, a year ago,
November.
December.
Okay. So 2020, end of 2020. Okay. That was discussed.
It was for the 2021 budget.
Correct. Yep. Went over what the figures were. Went through the insurance for vision and dental.
Insurance provision and dental, as a recap, is just under $1,700 for the whole year for all three employees.
Correct. Yeah, $1,576.80 for
We
all.
had something else to it, or was that it? Okay,
No, the
I stand
17.
corrected, just under 1,600.
The 17, I believe, that you're thinking of included the raise was 17,428. That was assuming what they have been averaging of 220 hours of overtime each year. More discussion about it. It's all in the minutes. Motion was made, seconded, and voted 3-1. At that point, more calculations were made and numbers were put into the budget from
But we
100,
didn't calculate what the 401K was gonna cost us.
right, which would be,
3% of their gross.
right,
Or up to, let me rephrase that, it would be up to 3% of their gross. However, if an employee decided to contribute only 1%, the town would match that 1%.
Right. Does that include overtime?
Yes, that includes, that is based on their gross earnings for the year.
so it would be 3% weekly. So.
Yeah, so it still comes out to 3%.
Right, but during the summertime, it would be less than during the winter time.
Where I was employed, they did it differently. They did it,
Overtime, not their.
they did their contribution once a year.
Okay. Got it. So 3% on the 184,938
Would be the maximum amount, would
would be
be
the
the
maximum amount. Anybody have a calculator? Use mine is like, no, it's actually.
There's
$184,938.28. Times 0.03.
$5,548 and around about 15 cents.
5,000, there you go.
$548.15, that's round about.
15 cents. So that included into the 17,500, brings it to 18,500. Sorry. 18. I had it all here.
Missing.
Josh, no, I think he's there.
He's right there. Is there? Is that him?
Yeah, I think it is.
3,048 change.
Might be Lance.
Well, Max does. And he's oftentimes sits with him.
Right, and go on my part.
Yeah, Todd, again, just one comment. Have you guys given thought to doing some sort of compensation plan for these guys? Like a 3-year plan that you know ahead of time before, that you kind of all agreed to say it's gonna be 3% this year.
Cost
So
of living raise.
yeah,
That'd be
something,
a lot simpler.
right, I mean, it's just, that way we don't end up paying 10% at once, which I think that's what people are kind of upset about, is that we're paying that high percentage.
Yeah.
And the average is 3 to 5 right now throughout the United States, with 3.8 being about the highest that I've seen out there.
Is that
Except
for
for-
1 year?
That's a US wide
For 1 year,
for 1 year, yep.
the,
2019.
We lost
last
4%.
year.
Last
For last
year we
year
lost 4. No raise the year before, no raise the year before that. So basically, we're not getting a 10% raise. But I don't know about you last year, but did anybody lose 4% of their income?
I've lost it before.
So
I've had years I didn't.
last year they got a raise in 2018.
They took it right away.
So, I
And
mean,
then
it's-
since then, they had to pay 20% of their insurance.
reality is
So
there's
further-
years you don't get pay raises, unfortunately, that's the reality of working sometimes.
Yeah.
But I just think, to be fair to these 3 individuals, we should be doing some sort of compensation plan ahead of time. It's kind of like the contract you do with the fire department or the ambulance service, you're kind of contracting ahead and agreeing upon what that raise is gonna be for at least a 3-year period. And it kind of averages it out that way. At least Marky, these guys know ahead of time what they're looking at for the raise in the next year. It's never gonna keep up with inflation.
Well, no, at least you don't have to come in here and
Right,
argue with Terry to get a raise.
Hey,
not arguing with Terry, I mean, I hate to say it, but unfortunately, the climate of the world drives that up, and COVID's kind of set things aside where they didn't get set aside before. And so I just think it would be fair to them to do something along that line.
I agree 100%.
well, and 10%, this is the worst year for a lot of people. Some people have lost their jobs in this town, some people still have not got back to their normal paycheck. And now we're asking for another 10%, and I think that
And
that's
we
a
are,
tough one for people to choke.
we are a retirement community. We have a lot of people that are on fixed income.
I
And get
think
social security only, and you get 5.9, which would mean get close to what the cost of living is. Like, it's hard. I mean, it's a balance between everything.
I do understand that,
You
but,
can say,
no, it'd be more my job than anything, but, the tax rate that is for the town is a quarter of what your tax bill is. Now, I'm not saying that, we're not. there's
you're the
not
lesser
maybe-
of two evils. I
We're the
understand.
lesser of two evils, and when you get that tax bill, I know there's the sticker shock, because I have it, I live here. But looking at it and actually calculating how much of that tax bill is coming to your town, I highly recommend it. It's kind of sickening, actually.
I believe the number that the district is asking for is over 15 million.
Over 18
Over
$18 million for
School
the
district.
school
For the
district.
school district, it has
Step out of the-
millions,
I mean,
and we have no say about that. And that one,
Well, we should have, say, because
We should.
On the board, but,
so we do have set, you gotta vote.
Well, I'll tell you this, down in Hannaford, you can be hired tomorrow because they're looking for people so bad. And for filling shop to go orders, you get your list, you leisurely walk up and down the aisle, you fill the bags for people and you send it out the door. $20 an hour and benefits. This guy's been working here, what, 30 years? He's getting $24 an hour? That's pathetic.
Well, compared to other towns.
Compared to other towns.
I
I
can
did, you guys
comment on
about
that.
2 years ago.
I can
and
comment on that.
I was
Compared, you said compared to other towns. I can tell you the village of Enosburg makes a whole lot more than these days.
That's what it does.
Shelton is.
Look at the road work.
What,
Sheldon is also-
Village of Enosburg does little paved roads within the village.
Bakersfield has a lot more roads than the village. He's talking about the village,
Not the town.
Not Joey's crew, we talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah, Joey's got money. Joey's budget's twice as ours is. They got twice the road.
and twice
No, they
over.
got 10 more.
just for comparison, A2 File was advertising on Facebook. They're hiring at over $31 an hour.
Who's that?
A2 File.
It's very similar to Land Air.
I got off at freaking 34.
When you
That
start.
was 30.
When you start.
It's over 31 starting pay.
David Weston, I've heard the comment that, 10% is a lot in 1 year to eat up. But if I am understanding this right, they didn't see 3% or 2% last year, or 3
No.
or 2% the last
No.
year before that. So the town actually saved that 2 and 3 years right
Yes.
here, if I understand this.
You are correct.
So, and they also did take a cut in the insurance.
That is
You got to
correct.
pay more in insurance, so the town saw a savings from that too. And even though we're gonna see a 10% raise this year, we actually see other money to make that up in the years past.
The idea with the.
Prior to last year, the employee insurance was 100% funded by the town of Bakersfield. Starting last year, the employees are paying 20% of the insurance bill out of their payroll.
That's odd for towns around here, most of them are 100%.
Yes, because I did a survey of that and got the information.
Not odd for employees.
Yes, it is.
It was very odd.
It's not.
Of like 3 pages, there were like maybe 3.
We'll pull
And it
the
was town,
15%.
I did
You
say
did.
the town.
Yes, you
I
did.
wrote down.
Hey, what
So
Tammy
the
is
taxpayers-
saying, what Tammy is saying is it's uncommon within municipals.
Yes.
What
Municipals near us.
Terry is saying is it's not uncommon amongst taxpayers.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's make sure that we're hearing each other before we start.
That's who pay their bills, talk about taxpayers.
Okay,
What
so-
other towns are paying their bills?
I know there's a lot of people online here, and when there's multiple people talking, they can't hear any of it. We can hear it here, they can't hear what's being said there,
I
so,
don't think they can hear me at all.
well,
I'm
Keep
away
up,
from the
step
bank.
closer to the mic.
I keep watching the green light now that I know it's taking for. You can you state your name?
John Less, over on Joy Road. So I sat through the meeting on 19th, and I heard what the town crew made. And I don't know what the hourly rate per se is, over in Enosburg or here or there. But I do know what kind of surprised me, and I mentioned it the other day, was you have your guy who's the road boss, the supervisor, the crew, making almost exactly what the crew makes. And that actually surprised me, is, in any kind of structure, your supervisors or your managers or whatever you want to call them, normally makes more money than the guy who's working next to him. There's no offense to the guy who's working next to him. It's because he's got more responsibility. And he's got more things to do and he sticks around with him. So I was actually kind of surprised, and I'm not trying to raise anything major, but like I was surprised that Acton makes almost as much as the other two road crews. So I just want to make that note because it really did shock me.
And that is something that happened long before I got on the board. I don't know why that came about, but
Just take into consideration newer employees start at a higher rate than he started at.
yes,
So
absolutely.
long-term employees typically get caught up pretty quick,
Yep.
unfortunately.
If we had a plan like Todd's talking, where we don't have to come in the spring, you do what you gotta do, then we don't.
Yep. I don't disagree with that.
That would have solved this whole
And there's gonna be years we can't afford. to
Right.
Yep.
At least they know that ahead of time. That's-
Is Marky still here?
No,
I think
yeah,
No,
oh,
yeah,
there he is, right there.
Just making sure you're from there. Is that something to negotiate? Right now? That's part of this budget. Could we not put in a increased plan
You're talking for the future?
for the next 3 years?
You're taking away the 10%?
Did not say that.
Okay. I just want to
I
clarify.
think, Mr. Chairman, may I suggest that, may I suggest that the employees, three road crew guys, put their heads together and think about what's fair, put it in writing and bring it to the select board meeting so that we have something to start with and discuss. Is that fair? Mark?
Yeah,
Danny?
there until we get shot down. Right?
Yeah.
But I like contract, so you just don't.
That's what this would be. It would be.
Somebody gets a hair off their ass, they don't just, oh, you're gonna take your drink with, no.
No, it doesn't take that.
That's wrong.
Because there should be evaluation that go with it, not just a contract.
Evaluation, and who would you have doing the evaluation?
Well, it should be for the road commissioner.
I was gonna say, he would do them too, and you guys would do them. I would say.
Yeah.
Evaluation,
Or your road commissioner.
And
that's typical.
it was discussed yesterday how much better the roads have been maintained the past year and a half to 2 years, the past 2 winters for sure. Now I know some people may disagree with me, and some of the people who may disagree with me live on Main Street. So, there's always people that want to be upset with stuff, but for somebody who drives the roads on a regular basis, I'm seeing a significant increase in their care and how they're being plowed, sanded. And I think one of the main problems is that positive things are not brought forward. But people are always willing to jump on the bandwagon when it's time to shit on people. Excuse my language. We have comments, good. Oh, I can, I guess, the road, who? Just give me-
Savannah Riddle, probably.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Road crew does a great job. They deserve the raise. We dropped the ball in previous years. It's just what needs to happen. I agree with the plan for a future increase.
Okay, and Mary Lumber would like to comment, please. I would like to comment.
Who said that previous quote?
That was Savannah Riddle.
Okay, can you keep the chat box going through?
Well, I've got to admit people, but I'll have a copy of the chat. I'll
Chat
give you
group.
Okay,
Mary Lumber would like to comment if she wants to unmute
okay.
or type it.
I'll do it here.
Let me get her unmuted.
Who's saying that?
Mary Lumber.
That's very Weston.
No, this is Larry's
That's the next comment, and we'll address that in a minute.
Okay.
There we go.
I don't see Mary.
Hang on.
Just call her right in. Her comment. And,
Go ahead, Mary.
Hey, I would like to say, if a lot of people lived out on
Hang on one
these,
second. Let's just start again.
Could you start over, please?
if a lot of people lived where I did and not on 108 or 36, they would really appreciate this road crew we have and treat them accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
Larry, yeah, I got that one. Larry Westcomb has a comment. I don't know about everyone else, but not many people get 100% insurance in dental and vision. To address that, Larry, this road crew does not get 100%. They get an 80-20 split, much like the rest of the taxpayers, as Terry pointed out. The vision and dental that we discussed is a very minimal fee that is a plan through Vermont Leagues of Cities and Towns.
The 80-20 is medical.
The 80-20 is medical, correct? Yeah, no, that's perfect. I appreciate your forward thinking.
The town of Bakersfield also does not give family plans either, I don't believe.
That is true.
No. We do have one.
We have one, it's not been opened up though, that, and the only reason we offer that one is because it was a previous.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, we do have one.
Yeah. But I think what Mark is saying is that if he wanted a family plan, he would have to come in and renegotiate that whole thing through.
Right,
Same with Danny.
correct.
Lisa, I'm weird. I'm not sure she was on.
Okay.
Just unmuted.
Lisa Maynard?
Yeah.
Okay. Lisa, did you have a comment or a question? Okay. Did you want to speak to your discussion?
We got one here.
Get one of those.
Oh, sorry.
Just on, well, the topic of the family plans was brought up. Even though many of us do pay a portion of our insurance, many other places, in both the places I've ever worked in my life, did provide family plans. You know, without the person having to pay even more for the family.
You didn't
We don't have to
realize
pay a share. We did.
Marky, could you come in here so we can get that on record, please?
He wants to cover his summer kids.
that? From here, from there.
My insurance is $5.
Does anybody else have any more comments on this section?
Your insurance. Every place.
So we did get the response.
Yes, and I read it, and I just would caution you, and it's more like, I think Lance and I were talking earlier. I learned a lesson, I should just sign into every meeting, whether you're gonna do executive session or not.
Right, 'cause we
But I don't think everybody understands that, so maybe at the top of it, say, please come to the meeting, log into the meeting. And we may be going into executive session, at which time you'll be asked to step away.
Right, and
I think that was the part that I was confused.
We shouldn't have warned it as such.
We
didn't need to.
No,
We never.
no, we have the right to go into executive session at any time. We have to state the reason and state and write down the state statute that it is involving before we go into executive session. At that point, we can,
Wasn't it Gary Rose that said he used for village, they warned for something?
They put it on the warning.
they,
The last part.
you can,
They can't,
but you may run into something that we.
And you don't have to do it, it's not against
No.
state statute, not.
that's their last thing on their, every agenda I get. That's executive session.
So at this point, I would like to turn the floor over to Brenda so that she can address Todd's question from last night's meeting about how the meeting was warned and the findings that she had with Secretary of State and Vermont League of Cities.
Basically, I took Dan's premise that we had not warned the meeting properly and that we excluded a group of people who may have come to a meeting, but knew that they wouldn't be allowed into the executive session. And what was told to me by attorneys from the Vermont League of Cities and Towns is that he was pretty sure the board was not in violation of the open meeting law. Generally, executive session, there's something the board may or may not use. Even if the executive session was an agenda item, that doesn't compel the select board to vote to enter executive session. The board has some discretion on how and when it takes up the agenda items. I shared that with Dan today, as we had a great discussion about it. And realizing that we probably could have worded the header for the meeting better, or we could have done something different within the context of a budget meeting. We didn't need to go to executive session. Pretty short and sweet. We did also speak with the Secretary of State's office. With that said, she said they don't generally handle complaints that are handled down by the League of Cities and Towns. And should anyone wish to question our open meetings or how we warn them, there are forms available, and I've left those with Dan as well. Or any member of the select board has those available to them. And it's one of the reasons that we're doing the video and we're taking good notes. Thank you, Tammy. And we're always open to suggestions.
What's up?
Discussion.
Can't find that.
Who's talking? It's 5 o'clock.
Say she's on mute, she can sign herself.
Yeah,
I'll just say I'm mute.
pass it on mute so we can see what she's talking about.
Savannah River.
Talking about what the, what the.
I think it's 1,400.
Yeah, she.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, but where
I'm
is
not
she
seeing
saying
it on
that
there.
it's put on for 14,000?
Do you see 1,400? What do you see here on the?
I see Northwest Solid Waste District under Shelby County appropriated sum of money under item 19B, $1,400.30.
Okay, so just let her know that it is.
It has been corrected in this year's warning. I'm not sure where you're finding the 14th. It might be in the minutes. I think is what she's
Oh, probably
referring
in
to.
the minutes?
Yeah, page 5 of the minutes.
Okay.
Northwest Solid Waste.
Sorry, I saw that. but I didn't-
Well, there, I'll correct that.
So-
Yeah.
Just if I'm reading this right, what is voted in, the rate at which it affects the tax in the town book, if anybody's on the town book, page 11.
You got my vote.
I have your book. So some voted in and what it is assessed on a rate per 100. Okay, so the 23,048, which would include the raise insurance, the 401k. There is no 25, which would be the closest one in here. Closest one I can find is 30. And per 100, that affects it 2.5 cents on your tax bill. So a house with a value of 250,000, this would cost your tax bill $63.50, not even, because I'm going off 30,000, not 23. Just to give an idea as to what the actual impact is on a taxpayer for this increase, and basically to keep account for, I can tell you right now, there are towns in this area that cannot keep account for.
Yeah.
Some of them running skeleton crews, if anybody's looking for a job, Sheldon has an opening.
So Lisa can't get her computer to work
Okay,
so that we can hear her.
okay. Does she,
The
can
question
she,
is, she wants to know if we can, ask the road crew about watching the overtime. That the overtime hours seems excessive.
well, I mean, it would be 100%
Way too
dependent,
much overtime.
100% dependent on weather.
Yeah.
We did make a request 2 years ago for limited overtime during the summer months. I believe you were on the board at that point there. And for 2 years, I don't think, other than natural disasters, I don't think we've seen overtime during the summer months.
Mark gets a couple of hours, because when we're doing chloride, he starts early, so we don't have to.
Right, so
Yeah.
he's ahead of it, yep.
Even in 2020, when we were recovering from the 2019 storm, the only overtime associated for that year was the storm.
Yep.
And when they finished the winter work, they didn't have any overtime in the summer unless it was an emergency.
And the overtime during the FEMA disaster, the Halloween issue, was covered under FEMA. So
And that was limited to November, December. There wasn't any in January.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe changing the shifts during the storms could be an option.
Okay,
Cut back on overtime.
I mean, the problem is we have,
Like Fairfield, if you come in at 4, you
Yeah.
leave it whenever your 8 hours is up. If the storm doesn't continue, I think that's what she's talking about.
we had discussed that at one point.
We do that something.
What, yeah, wherever possible, they already do it.
I see if she can hear us. I don't know.
Was it?
Lisa, maybe.
She can also put these into the,
Lisa dropped
Okay,
off.
yeah.
She left.
she didn't hear any of that.
Oh.
Sorry. Any further discussion?
No, I have another one here. Yeah, very much.
Well, the purpose of this meeting is for them to get their stuff out in the open. We would prefer, if you're on the Zoom call, that you use the Zoom system. That way it can be documented and used the correct way.
We understand that you are frustrated with the system, but if you use the phone, we can't publicly record what you're asking.
Actually, there's a phone number associated with it. If they dial in and talk on the phone, they just won't show up on.
Give it, Mr. West, can you display that phone number so that we could? Just calling up on the cell phone isn't going to work. You need to call up on a speaker phone.
I think we've addressed the concern, though, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the other one was somebody, but I don't even know who it was. Said we thought about doing salary. Maybe do
Want that
salary.
mobile number right here.
Are you sharing your screen with them?
But they're not gonna be able to, they don't have.
Great. All right.
So there's the phone number right there. there. If we could dial into.
What is it?
So it's, if they want to use the DC, there's, the closest number is the New York number. It's 646-558-8656. The passcode, the meeting ID is 884-3917-0923. They hit pound, they should get in.
Mr. West, could you display that in the chat box?
I can absolutely, sir.
Thank you.
You're sharing your screen right now, so they should be able to see it.
Should be able to.
Yeah, we can go back, but I guess if they see the chat box.
That's San Jose.
Okay, so, oh, yeah, wow.
That is all.
Sorry, there's not one for Vermont, but,
Any others?
Just one last comment. Thank you for allowing us to at least have some open discussion.
Absolutely, that is due process, and we do try and respond. Sometimes we mess up and don't even know it, so.
Thank you.
I believe that's where we're at this point.
Adjourn the meeting entirely. I haven't, we still need to sign this.
So that takes care of the previous issues, correct?
I think we can make a motion to end discussion about the,
Okay, it's done. Okay, so the ambulance service agreement, made and undertaken this, the 25th, we are accepting.
Oh, absolutely.
Correct?
You know,
that should be voted.
We,
I'll make a motion.
okay, yep.
I'll make a motion that we accept
As
the
amended.
Innisburg ambulance service contract as rewritten. On what date? The latest revised number.
Today's revival.
Today's revised.
We have to amend. Eric?
For what?
Of the ambulance contract.
We have a motion and a second to accept. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
So Lance made a motion that the board accept the Eaglesburg ambulance contract as written. Is that it?
Yes. Which included the 6 month
Put it
warning,
5 year.
5-year contract, and 6 month warning prior to the end of contract for renegotiation.
Right now, technically, they go January to December.
Well,
They don't take up 3/4 that they can't, or a year, they can't really, they didn't go in there. But they don't.
So the ballot
Instead of
warning, if there's any
April
corrections
1st,
on that,
March 3rd.
why don't you go out and
Right.
change it and bring it back to you, you can sign it tonight.
No, that's an issue.
okay,
This one is an issue.
okay, so we just here.
Those are my orders.
Yeah.
No box.
Mark,
Keeping season.
so it's just
Let me get you at home.
that.
She's so funny because I'm in Suffolk County a number of times. In the grand scheme of things,
But, no, they're down there doing, it. We're gonna be back. They were using that hydrant, and that one's not pumped, we have to drain, that helps the drainable, right? They were gonna use this one.
No, she still can't hear.
Further off the road. Hopefully.
I know, I have.
Service
Service is my house sometimes. Frustrating as hell.
And then we'll throw it in.
Not Bakersfield, bye.
Right, thank you.
I don't lay under this.
I want to do.
Can't see.
Don't let
thing is Terry read it aloud, captured on the meeting, question was addressed,
What did you read? Which one was it? Did I get it?
yes, it was Lisa.
Please, Committee.
What did she ask? Just make sure.
Just want to know about all the decreasing the overtime.
Oh,
Decrease the
It was,
overtime.
it was the things that we'd already talked about in previous minutes, or previous meetings.
Which is something.
No. Correct.
Our company, our overtime, boom,
Well, I
we
mean,
used to have open overtime and that's the one thing that killed us.
what would happen if there's no overtime?
Nobody would go anywhere.
I wouldn't say no overtime, but there's ways to control.
Right, and I think we've talked about them with them. They have some of the practices in that. Working.
When do we do the road? commissioner?
That is, Matt, I think
That
that's,
is
road
appointed,
commissioner
right?
is appointed. So, anybody who is interested, I guess I can make this announcement, anybody who is interested in the road commissioner position, to come to a meeting
The meeting after
a
the.
meeting after the town meeting day, the next official town
So
select board meeting.
the first select board meeting after town meeting. This is, if anyone's interested to be appointed road commissioner,
Correct. Robert Tanner, do you have a question? Okay, just checking, thank you.
If you come to the first select board meeting.
That would be March 14th.
March 14th.
March
So-
14th.
Do you guys have a job description of what the road commissioner actually does?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do?
Didn't get that far.
We didn't get it?
I don't know, I'd like to see that.
I thought we adopted,
You didn't finish it.
The road commissioner we did.
No, I'd like to see that one, so I
We got 4 minutes.
see what he actually does. I mean,
Why are
there's,
you telling us Mike doesn't do it?
well, there's road commissioner and there's road foreman, Terry.
I know,
What
I
does
know.
it consist of? If you're gonna hire a road commissioner, you kind of need to know what he's gonna do,
I agree.
and how much he gets paid. That's an extra
There's no
cost.
pay.
there is that.
That, oh yeah, there is pay now. There is pay now.
Yeah.
You get the winter time, $100.
And what does he have to do though?
Get up at 2 o'clock in the morning, tell us when to work.
Is that what it is?
Yep.
What else?
Supposed to evaluate
Access permits.
road.
No, if they don't have the job description, you can't really hire someone.
We do. I just couldn't find it in my nice file.
Okay,
We never finalized that one.
We did review one, we agreed upon it, apparently according to Mac, we didn't sign it.
yeah, you need a paper trail.
We had foremen and we had, laborers and we had.
I think that was it, because we
No, it
incorporated the operator and the
The
laborer. together.
operator and laborer was on the same
Yeah.
page.
We were gonna relabel that one, Mark, but
I'll find it for you, Mark. I will find it, I promise.
Terry and I can't see, where this, measure all the wood is coal.
Yeah.
I don't think, where is it? Probably all states, I don't.
Oh, there. You get that book.
that was an oversight on our part. Yes, so Tammy,
Yep.
Some ice cream on the way.
David, no ice
one
cream.
eighty-five.
Too warm to not have ice cream.
Maria had a
That's the old farmer in
2022
you.
expense budget for the road, okay? On that, there's a section that says salaries, total, $185,000, okay? That does not include
Before tomorrow.
Oh, that's pretty good.
401k, which is approximately $500, okay? So that needs to be added to the 85,000, to make it even, 90,500. 90,550.
190,500.
$190,550.
Yeah, you can't.
That 190 number does include.
And then 401k expense again is 5,000.
5,000, up to $5,550. That assumes that all three employees would take a 3%, would contribute 3%, which would obligate the town to contribute 3%.
That's been going on for a long time.
Yes, well, we're just trying to put a number on the salaries now.
Because we talked about the salary and we talked about the overtime, so we could have the salaries correct. And we did not talk about, as Gary said, what the 401k.
On the ballot?
Yes.
Yes.
We need to
Okay,
add,
so you can't find it.
well, you said that, oh, you have to go through in there and make a change, right?
Oh, I can, okay.
Yeah,
I was
it's
thinking
just
we
that-
had to do it. Gotcha.
It's just that one line.
So it's section 8, you have the, okay, so you just need to increase
Just
that
write
by,
it in, Josh, because I'm gonna resend it.
plus 4,500.
I took 185,000 multiplied by 3%.
I'm gonna start at 5:30.
Okay.
And that is the maximum amount. We don't necessarily have to have that amount. It depends on what the guys contribute. They only contribute 1%, we're not gonna need 5,500.
I think they had said to do 3%, right? Or that, you all did 3% for your.
Yeah.
More than that.
But we're only obligated to contribute up to 3%.
Right, well, what I'm saying is, for instance, point, they may do 1%, these guys, I don't think they're gonna lower their 401ks to 1 or 2%, they're doing more
I
than
wouldn't.
they do now.
5,500 is what I got. And that,
Yeah, I missed the 50. Probably 3 turn a day. Did you check this?
what was the number? No,
Carrie,
Carrie.
can you hop on this page real quick? The warrant? Yep. If we
Throw that
can,
number, I think, we'll get us a penny so she can make the change.
3, 4. That's what the road.
Line 8, line
Now, keep in mind that includes the $55,000 truck payment.
8. Yes. And there's 2 truck payments.
Well, right, yeah, but I'm saying.
That's the number right
Is that the only thing that needs to be?
We're checking that right now. Can you give that back to Lance real quick?
Okay.
So we do not have any say on 2 or 3. Number 4.
Night,
Thank you for
Mark.
coming, Mark. Thanks, Mark.
Have a good one, Mark. Thanks.
Hi, Mark.
Verbiage taken from, I forget the town, on number 4. Everything looks great there.
Mhm.
Property taxes due October 3rd. We've already checked that. That is correct. Select board to set the tax rate. Yep. Select board to borrow money in anticipation of taxes only if needed. Roadwork budget, we just amended. Paving grant, bridge repairs, all the general expenses is the number that we took and made through our.
Did you give that there?
That's the number she pulled off of.
Yeah, it was my paperwork. That's why I'm a little worried about it, because nobody else has given her any of these numbers.
She's been sitting with us.
They
No,
have,
we did COVID numbers.
Kathy.
Oh, they did.
So-
I meant Maria. I thought you were talking
No,
about Maria.
Maria wasn't here today.
Okay.
And, or not when Kathy was doing that.
There's the one like that from yesterday.
Right here.
Hang on.
okay, it's right here.
It's my file. You didn't get the one yesterday.
Right here.
That's from yesterday.
That's
the road.
All very well worked.
Oh, no, I didn't get the number. Just, you're correct.
I paid the $700.
That's too smart. I just shove pages inside and just keep looking.
You know, I can go up to people's trucks and see if they, I never got anything for the holidays. It's $50.
Dan got some gallons from Jimmy. Chainsaw Jim.
I had a copy of it. Yeah, so.
And we use this number, facing our,
Remember when we broke down the total expenses?
19,000.
We had a long sheet.
if somebody else
Made
did.
changes.
comes in-
I had the one that,
Right?
Kathy was looking for
So
something
someone else
today.
bids lower.
I had the one that she was
You
dating.
don't have all the bids, you take lower number.
No one has to be, the bids were due by the 24th of the meeting. No one has to call out questions.
Okay.
It's the technical that counts.
Thank you.
But they did, you said something about being.
I did. I said, I understand them not being able to do it to their St. Albans office, but I'm surprised they didn't use the quote.
So.
They have other
Yeah,
offices.
they said they couldn't do it.
Total.
Yeah, I know.
How many did you
Them, KBS, the one from Lewisburg,
About half of it, wasn't it?
yeah,
You got one response. That was,
we got one from down,
That
what is
includes,
it, Montpelier Way or something?
Oh.
Not even close.
oh, it includes direct.
But it could be, I wonder if they think we need it like right now, because it's the worst time of year.
Yeah.
And accountants, I guess.
Direct tax. Isn't our share, probably is, but. It's generally the, no. That is the right number. What else? Building tax.
Where is it now?
You go right here, going from tax,
Salaries.
under salaries,
Yep.
that's something that's collected. The only thing the town pays on that is,
You don't pay the clerk fee.
we don't pay the clerk fees, that comes out. But the town does have to pay, income tax and social security, Medicare and all that.
Yeah, so not for doing it.
Not the, no, not that large number, no.
Somebody told me that there's a zoning admin in Swanton, I think, that's trying to take on another town.
Good.
Yeah. I don't know. Had asked if we you've reached out to any of the other zoning admins, and I said, no. We've written an ad in the paper, and he said, pretty sure it's wrong.
There's still an ad.
It's still in the paper?
There's still an ad with the Vermont League of Cities and Towns, and it's also on another, I found it on the web page that was put out. So. Still out there.
Oh,
Certainly
okay.
thought.
That's all I see that comes to this.
I can't remember if it was Swan or Highgate, but it was that way.
And last year it was. You guys, somewhere. No.
What were these clerk fees for?
60,000 last year, yeah.
Where are we talking?
The one
Clerk fees or for people who come in?
those are tables.
Rather
Right,
Revenue.
they should.
We already started,
That's what I was talking to about,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Also,
Picked up these two.
also, the direct taxes and
We
everything.
have to pay, the town pays, income tax, Medicare, Social Security, and all that other stuff out of it, but, this is not an expense. Only part of it, well, we have to together, probably pick it up 26% of that, and then we have to pay that. About 26%, maybe.
For what?
Income, Social Security, Medicare,
Did we take that into play with our increases to the road crew?
that is included, yes. Yes. I think, yes, we did discuss that, and yes, that was an estimated thing that Maria figured out. Percentage. Yeah, the percentage for income tax and Social Security. And
That's
Medicare.
on the form, there, gross. I don't see anything else that is missing.
I think that is a great number, Josh. I mean, that's up 20,000 from last year. Last year, we requested $265,000 for the general expenses of the town. This year, the general expenses are $281,080. I think that is the correct number. I am missing this, what? I'll rush through it here. Kathy did bring up the clerk salary and the taxes to me this afternoon.
Is there anything else that won't come to that we're not seeing?
Not like that, I don't know. Just the fire department contract. It's about that much. Fire department contract. Oh, hang on, we did pay in the fiscal year 2022, we did make a 2021 payment, so that might mess up numbers.
That's what I'm trying to figure out too. For which one here?
For this year, is it 38? Oh,
Yeah, 38.8.
It is, okay,
Yep,
because we were 36 before,
correct.
okay.
But it's contracted, that comes out, that fire department does come out. That state doesn't.
Well, that's what I'm wondering, if we have to budget the pool.
No, because that was held over from the year before.
Okay.
The payment made in 2022 for 2021 was money held over. Basically, we received permission from The fire department make a late payment. Not normally voted on, comes out of the general fund, fire department, things for annual service, monthly, cities and towns, trying to support tax. I'm just looking for errors.
Must be really fun to watch us sit here and do that.
Yeah.
There's a discrepancy. Yeah. Okay.
How much do you have for discrepancy?
Well, $86,000. Yeah, which-
They were asking for less or more?
No, what we're asking for, according to the warning,
Wasn't it
is
because,
about $16,000 more. This is the number.
I thought we were using some of the, other funds to offset some of the.
That was the truck.
That's the truck.
Oh, that's the truck one?
That was the truck.
That was.
For the general fund last year, we asked for $265,000. This year, we're asking for $281,080. Very general expenses. Up $16,000 basically.
I think that's what we were at.
Better than school budget.
But for the road equipment funds, 15,000. Equipment repairs is 25,600. That brings the total for the account up to $35,000, which is our year target. Shall the town appropriates $35,000 to Brigham and Brigham Library, sorry. And the library is also asking if they can reinvest $1,861.74 into their improvement fund, which was left over from fiscal year 2021. Charlottetown appropriate $10,000 for Maple Grove Cemetery. That's as per their request. And Charlottetown appropriate $5,000 for the Bakersfield Historical Society, also as per their request.
Right.
So adding those all up, that's what I think.
something,
That's less.
well, we've got to add back into it. So
No, I'm just saying that this number is correct. 11,000, not.
But we gotta kick back in for this one. The clerk fees, which is 12,000.
Yep, I got it in there.
Yeah, and no, we gotta take those out and then add back in approximately 25%, for income tax, social security, Medicare, whatever, it'll run 25, 26%, somewhere
What
around
I'm
there.
saying though, if you could add that whole line in there right there, and it would still be below.
I think those were put into it, they shouldn't have.
I agree, that's what I'm saying, but I didn't put in the clerk fees. I didn't put in the delinquent tax.
Right.
I didn't put in the direct tax. So I think that number is right.
I do too.
Okay, I'm just
I'm just
saying this number that's,
we could add $6,000 back into that to cover the taxes on those two.
okay,
So that we, yeah. Which is really close.
yep, no, I just,
Okay,
I,
so I agree with you, Josh. I think this number
the other one that we had,
is correct.
yeah, the other one we had, maybe nervous.
It did. Me too.
That's why I was double checking that, dude.
So we do have it. We're gonna go with that.
Check it, like
$81,080.
All right.
Wrote that in.
No,
It is,
sorry to
that's the original number.
That's the original,
outside audit number, we don't really have control over. Real quick, 19,000, right underneath the one we just discussed.
Oh, okay, yeah, I did.
Sorry, number 12. 15, no change there. 14 is to bring that back up to 35,000.
Okay.
35,000 for the library, which is asked for year. Surplus funds from the library to be transferred over or rolled over. Maple Grove is the same, Historical Society is down. Each one of those are all lumped together. Is that how I'm reading that?
Yeah, they're all on one ballot with yes, no, beside each one of them.
Yes, no, okay, just double checking.
Yeah, that's how they were proposed.
All right, so Tammy, if you can make that one change on number 8, we could sign, that's something you can print tonight, correct?
yep.
And the only person, I can reach out to Benton and see if he can just swing in and sign it tomorrow. That's what I mean. Well, depends on.
Yeah, that was only missing. Not much. Not much. That,
Anybody like to get a motion?
The motion, which one is the sign?
That can be done outside
Yeah,
of the meeting, yeah.
okay, I would make a motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
One second.
I'm comfortable with what we've done tonight. I'll second that.
There we have a motion and a second. In favor of adjournment, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Have a wonderful night, everyone.